Alright folks, this is a quick introduction video. The videos I'm about to show you are two videos based on the same character. It's going to be the Jason Fredrick character, but I've had some people say that the character is a little bit too controversial, so I'm going to let you guys decide. I'm going to give you two base characters. The first character is the new Jason Fredrick, which people seem to like a lot, and the second one will be my original incarnation, or whatever you want to call it, of Jason Fredrick. I'm gonna basically do an introduction story to the background of the stuff, and then since his next opponent will be Johnny Fortune, I will do a promo on Johnny Fortune. I want you guys to comment down below if you like the first character better, or the second character, or character A or character B. I'll put a little thing before that. Answer down below. I really appreciate it. Alright, thanks.
Well, hello, folks. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Jason Fredrick. And allow me to tell you a little story about my past. You see, I grew up a young man in an undisclosed location. I grew up to an abusive father, an ex-Air Force sergeant. And you see, I always grew up wanting to be a professional wrestler. I grew up idolizing the guys like the Hardy Boys, the guys like Stone Cold Steve Austin, the guys like The Rock, the guys like the Hardy Boys. And I wanted to be a pro wrestler. But you know what? My daddy wouldn't let me. My daddy forced me to go into the U.S. military. And you see, going into the military, I was not a happy camper. You see, something in me from that boy who grew up in an undisclosed location, straight as an arrow, straight A's, that is. I never wanted to be anything but a professional wrestler. But suddenly, I was on the front lines, fighting for our military overseas, until one day, there's conflicting stories on what actually happened. Some say I went a little crazy and shot up a few of my fellow soldiers. And I've been on the run ever since. Some say I just up and left, and I'm AWOL now. Well, there's one thing in common in both of these stories. Somebody went crazy and ran out on their responsibilities. And you see, I don't think I'm crazy, do you? I think I finally got my head screwed on tight. And now that you know a little bit about me, let's move on to my next opponent, shall we, folks? Shall we? Johnny Fortune, the California Kid, the cult of sexual chocolate, or whatever the hell you call yourself. You see, Johnny, there's one advantage I have in that ring over you, and it's not being bigger. It's not being stronger, because we all know that the little man in the fight can always come out and give you a good showing. But there's one advantage.
I'm fucking crazy!
You see, when I get in that ring, something inside of me snaps, and I go all out. And here tonight will be no difference, Mr. Fortune, because by night's end, you will be nothing but a broken body in rubble. Stories of my death have been greatly exaggerated, quote the great Scott Hall. Bye-bye.
Allow me to introduce myself. My name, well, as far as you need to know it, Jason Fredrick. Let me tell you a little story about my past. You see, when a young man, all I wanted to do was join the U.S. military. Couldn't get in. Tried every branch I could. Finally, got into the Air Force. All I ever wanted to do was serve this country and make my family proud. I had a daughter, had a wife, and never go back to it. Never. But that's farther on in the story. Let's continue on. I finally get into the military. The Air Force, to be specific. The Armed Forces. I go over to Iraq. It's nothing that they tell you in the news. That shit's way worse. And I didn't get the hero's welcome at most. Again, I'm preluding to the end of the story. So I'm over in Iraq. My whole platoon shot down. I'm captured and put into an Iraqi prisoner camp. I was tortured. I was beaten just for the color of my skin and where I came from. I was an American. I was an infidel. See, finally, the great red, white, and blue America came and rescued me. So I thought. See, brought me back, took me into a hospital, treated my wounds, stitched me up. I thought I was gonna leave, go home to my family, my daughter Monica, my wife Roxanne. Go back to my parents, tell them your baby boy made it home okay, Mama. He made it home. She cried that day I left, and I just couldn't understand why. Because I was gonna come home, but I never did. Because instead of releasing me when my injuries and my wounds were healed, they conducted experiments on me. They conducted experiments on me. I was treated like a human guinea pig, a lab rat. You see, before they release a toxin, before they distribute a cure for a disease, they have to test it. Why test it on an animal? animal rights activists don't like that. It's not the same as testing on humans, so who do they turn to? Me. Why the fuck do you think I wear this mask? Scars. Downing this once attractive face. Treated me like a human guinea pig. They wouldn't release me. So I had to leave on my own. One day, set fire to my bed by someone who smuggled in some matches. Set fire to that bed, and I ran. I ran as far as I could. When I finally stopped, I was on the doorstep of the YGWA owner. He said, "Come in, come in, tell me your problems." And I told him, and he's the first and only ever person to believe me, give me a job here in YGWA. And I can't go back. I can't go back to that life I was. From now on, I am Jason Fredrick. Over here. I am Jason Fredrick. I'm no longer the alias I was, my birth name. Can't go back to Roxanne, Monica, my family, no one. So I fight. I fight and I beat the living fuck out of little faggots like Johnny Fortune in that ring. And I'm not calling him gay. Just a little pussy. You see, that's where we move on from my story to yours, Johnny. Johnny, you grew up in California. California kid. The cult of sexuality. You're exactly the kind of person that those experiments should have been conducted on. You're nothing but a disgusting human pile of garbage that drinks all day and has sex all night with multiple partners. You see, I'm fighting for your freedoms, and you're out getting your jollies at the bar and the gay strip clubs. Well, tonight, Johnny, I'm gonna use you as a human sacrifice. And I'm gonna treat you just like those Iraqi soldiers treated me. See you in the ring, John. Better bring your A game, because I'm gonna squash you like a bug.